Good morning, Trinity family, and welcome to Coffee With. I'm excited to be with you this morning during Holy Week, our last week of this devotional time together, but it has been so good to spend time in the Word and in prayer together. And this morning, our passage describes the physical suffering that Jesus experienced leading up to the cross and then during his time on the cross. And it's I simply want us to read it today. And I'm going to read it slowly. I'd even encourage you just to close your eyes and picture what is being described. Sometimes, because this passage might be very familiar, we might just skim over it and say, yeah, I know what happens. Or because of the gruesome nature of it, we might also be tempted to just skim over it. But I would encourage you this morning to really dwell with a heart of gratitude for the suffering that Jesus experienced for you, for me, for all of the world, because God so loved the world that he sent Jesus. And this is why he came. I'm going to start with verse 27. Again, close your eyes if you wish. Follow along if you wish, but picture in your mind how Christ suffered for you. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the governor's residence and gathered the whole company around him. They stripped him and dressed him in a scarlet robe. They twisted together a crown of thorns, put it on his head, and placed a staff in his right hand. And they knelt down before him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews!" Then they spat on him, took the staff, and kept hitting him on the head. After they had mocked him, they stripped him of the robe, put his own clothes on him, and led him away to crucify him. As they were going out, they found a Cyrenian man named Simon. They forced him to carry his cross. When they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of the skull, they gave him wine mixed with gall to drink. But when he tasted it, he refused to drink it. After crucifying him, they divided his clothes by casting lots. Then they sat down and were guarding him there. Above his head, they put up the charge against him in writing, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." The two criminals were crucified with him, one on the right and one on the left. Those who passed by were yelling insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests with the scribes and elders mocked him and said, "He saved others, but he cannot save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now, if he takes pleasure in him. For he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" In the same way, even the criminals who were crucified with him taunted him. We'll pick up the rest of the story on another day, but that really describes the physical, emotional, mental suffering that Jesus experienced in his sacrifice for us. I always like to watch at this time a video that Phil Vischer, he's the VeggieTales guy, made. It's called The Meaning of Easter. And Brian's going to put it in the comments for those of you on the live platform or Facebook. It's about 11 minutes. It is designed for elementary age kids, super appropriate to watch with your elementary age kids and up, but it has such great description for us as adults as well. And the image that also, and Phil makes a comment talking about the physical suffering that Jesus experienced, but then he describes it as what God saw. And he has, it's an animated picture of the cross. And then there are these dots that come flying in and stick to Jesus as he describes that the stain of the sin from each and every one of us from all time. And then pretty soon these dots come in faster and faster and faster and faster. And the cross then is covered with these dark dots, just representing how not only was there the physical suffering, the emotional and mental suffering, but the spiritual suffering too, as Jesus bore the weight of our sin. And he did that because he loved us. He did that because he wanted to make a way for us to have a relationship with God. I love Hebrews 10:10 that says, we have been made holy through the sacrifice of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. And that phrase once for all always gets me because that's what it took. A perfect sacrifice of Jesus. He died once for all of us. There's nothing we can do to make God love us more. There's nothing we can do to make God love us less. He loves us, and we have a relationship with him because of Christ's sacrifice for us once for all. Would you pray with me? God, we are so, so grateful for Christ's sacrifice. It's hard to read those descriptions of the suffering that he experienced, and knowing that he did that for me, I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude and so, so thankful that you love us simply because you love us. And we can only just say thanks. In your name, amen. All right, friends, have an awesome Tuesday. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.